Okay. All right, we'll get started. How are you doing? Enjoying build? I love everyone is sitting on the edge of the seat, ready to go. That's how the seats are here. Okay, I'm Raj. We have Leon here also.
Hi everyone.
Leon literally lives and breathes Azure Portal every single day, so it's great to have him here to talk about Azure Portal. The next 20 minutes or so, we're going to walk through some of the hidden gems. We like maybe the productivity tips, some of the things that are not really obvious when you go look into the portal, but it's amazing things that can help you with manage and monitor the resources in Azure. So with that, we'll get started right away. So we're going to make it a little bit interactive here. So I'm going to ask Leon a bunch of questions, and he's going to walk through some of that. So, okay. So Leon, I'm, as a developer, as I'm a new developer, and I'm just getting started in Azure Portal. Can you walk through what are some of the things that we're doing in the portal to make sure the getting started experience is great?
Yeah, sure thing. Hey everyone. So one of the things that we are trying to do in the portal is to make it more effective to get started and start learning about Azure, and clearer call to actions to go and start building your apps. The first thing that you will see, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the welcome dashboard, but we just revamped the default dashboard right now at build to make it more connected with the new documentation that we are creating. I'm not sure how many of you check the quick starts. I think there are over there, or no, over there. I have very bad direction, so that's a problem that I have. But over there you can check all the new documentations, the quick start center. So basically, one of the things that we try to do is bring them closer to you, to where you take the action. Clearer call to actions also here, like first step that you would do is either create your first resource to start populating your app, or one thing that we introduced for new customer is a guided tour. So basically, if it's your first time, we are going to launch it automatically. If not, you can launch it at your own pace, and we are going to show you the main navigation elements in the portal such that you can learn the basics of interaction and how to get by and what can you do with the portal. Of course, this is a very conventional tour, nothing crazy here. You can stop at any time. The other thing that we just introduced in the portal is, as you are a new customer, very likely you don't have any resources. And in the past, when you're in that situation, there's no much that you can do. It's like you get lost. You get thrown in the middle of the nowhere. So one of the things that we are trying to make better is, as you try to navigate and find stuff, for example, your list of VMs, get you closer again to the docs and give a very clear call to action on to how to start creating those VMs, building your app. Yep. Last but not least, one thing, I should duplicate it better.
Yeah.
Last but not least, one thing that we did, which while we're trying to duplicate the screens, is we added in the resource screens, when you get to a VM, to a web app, or to a SQL DB, there's a help button that shows here at the top corner. So when you click that in the context of those screens, we are going to show you in context help that will help you get started or using that resource more effectively. So basically the main idea is, as you're trying to accomplish tasks with Azure, we are trying to bring the docs or the assets that you need to be successful. So Raj?
Yeah, ready to go.
Perfect, thank you. Sorry, this was killing me.
So this is great, Leon. So how can some of the folks here get access to all the things that you're showing? They want to get access to the early features that we're rolling out?
Great, that's a great question. So for the ones who don't know, we have two stamps of the portal that you guys can use that are available for you right now. One is portal.azure.com. That is our production stamp, which is, I'm sure, the one that every one of you is familiar with. The other one that is available for everyone is preview.portal.azure.com. And there you can get early access to some of the features that we are working on. So some of the features that you will see there are things that will hit production in a few weeks, and some of them even might change based on the feedback that we get from you when you use them. So if you want to try most of the things that I'm going to show here, if not all of them except for one, are available in this preview stamp. So you can try them right now.
And Leon, I know that customization is one of the key differentiators for the portal experience we have. What if we want to change the language or theme of the portal, how it looks, look and feel of it?
That's awesome. So one of the things that you can do in the portal is we support 18 languages and multiple locales. So in case that you want to change the language, like for example, my native language is Spanish. So if I would like to put the portal in Spanish, here in the settings, I have 18 languages that I can choose. And multiple locales. For example, if I want to get the dates I'm from Argentina, so in the Argentinian format. Another thing that you can change that I'm sure you notice is the different themes. So you can change the visual appearance of the portal. And very interestingly, you know that in the portal, basically subscription is one boundary for all your resources. You can set a global subscription filter. In this case, for example, I have set it to one subscription, but if I wanted, I could change it, for example, to these other subscriptions, and now the portal is set up to work in the context of those 4 subscriptions. So just to recap, if you change what subscriptions you want to work with, that applies to your entire session.
Okay. That's awesome. So now let's move on to some of the, developers love to manage multiple resources in Azure. This is all great customization tips and get started. What if I want to manage multiple resources? Are we doing anything to make that life easy in terms of search and how we can find and tag resources and things like that? Can you walk through that?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that it's been there for a long time, and it's not pretty much known, is the ability of having a global search that is present all the time in the portal. So how many of you use the box here, the search box here?
Couple.
Like very, very little percentage of the people present, but there are some cool things going on here. So the first one is that as soon as you get the focus, it's going to offer you the last recently used resources. The other thing is that as you type, of course, that's the obvious thing, right? It's going to filter resources that match whatever filter you type. One thing to mention also is that you can get to this box using the keyboard and not using the mouse at all. So if you type G/, basically it gets the focus and you can get to your resources using the keyboard without having to use the mouse in any case.
And there are a lot of other keyboard shortcuts too, right?
Yeah, actually that's a good point. So here in the Help Center, keyboard shortcuts, you get access to a bunch of them. So basically you have a lot of navigation options just using the keyboard, which again, are not very well known. Most people don't know about them. But that can make you, quite more productive. Again, to see how to get to them, you click Help, and at the bottom you see keyboard shortcuts. Click this guy, they're always there. Search, again, G/, has the focus. So this is pretty cool, but that's the way in which you get to one resource, right? If you want to get to a set of resources, one of the experiences that is the most common is what we call browsing, which is going through a list of resources that you own. One of the most popular ones is the all resources list. So basically this one is a list of every resource that you own, and you can scope that list with some filters that we have here at the top. In this case, for example, one thing to mention is the list spans multiple subscriptions. So here I'm looking at the list scope to the 4 subscriptions that I selected in the past. But if I wanted, I could change it. For the ones using the portal, one thing that you will notice is that there are more drop-downs here. We added more filters, and we are in the process of adding even more. Basically, we want to give you more control on how to, scope down that list of resources that you want to act on. And we added the ability of grouping. So you can group by different pivots, like the resource group, subscription, location, and whatnot. Now, this list that you see here in this case is a list of all resources. So the columns that you have there and the capabilities are things that are common denominator of everything. Mm-hmm. If you want to have more specialized lists, like for example, list of VMs, here you can go to the list of VMs by clicking the VMs item in the left navigation. And again, you have a list that is more tailored to show VM stuff. One thing, Raj asked me, how can I do things across multiple resources? So let me show you one thing. I'm going to scope down this list to VMs that we use for accessibility. Accessibility is one of our key areas of investment. So these are a few VMs that we use for screen reader testing. And one of the things that we enable is the ability to select several of them and applying an operation. So I can stop them all in a single take. Again, this is new. It's available in preview, not in production yet. And you will find it right now for VM, cloud services, and web apps. And over the next few weeks, we are going to make it available for each and every resource. So I'm not going to stop them because we are running the accessibility test here, but you get the idea. Also,
and we can add tags to these and search by tags, right?
Actually, that's a really cool one. One more thing to mention. These ellipses here almost always have operations for an individual resource. So if you want to act on one item, you can click the ellipses. If you want to act on many, you can use this kind of like multiple selection. You ask about tags. Basically, when you go to any one of these lists, sorry, I need to find the right one. Yeah, when you go to any one of these lists, one of the capabilities that you have is that you have a bunch of columns that you're seeing by default, but you can customize that list of columns. But the list of columns that you have there available are the things that the platform offers. If you want to create your own ways of grouping and categorizing stuff, we give you the option of tagging. which you can create your own tags, key value pairs associated to resources. The tagging capability has been there for a long time. So we had tagging like for, I think, a couple of years, but the UI is not great, just to say it in some way. So one of the things...
We are making it better with the preview portal, right?
One of the things that we are doing right now is we are trying to bring that capability closer to the places that most people go to perform their management flows. So for example, in this case, I could get these 3 VMs, and let's make it more interesting, like the screen reader that I had before, right? And let's pick one that we are not going to get in trouble. Some VMs that I have for testing.
Yeah.
All of these. So I could select a few of them. Like let's say these and these. And I could decide that I want to assign tags. And I'm going to say that the application name here is testing. One of the nice things is as I'm trying to provide the values, the system is offering me everything else that I entered. Yes, you have. Right now it does not. The question is, if I do that to a resource group, does it tag all the resources inside of it? No, but that's a great suggestion, and we'll do that. Great point, thank you. And in this case, I'm going to call it testing, and by virtue of doing that, all of my VMs right now are tagged as testing. It's going to take a while, but one of the interesting things is you can add tags as columns. So basically, this is how they show, and you can sort by tags, and very soon you're going to be able to filter by tag.
That's great. So we walked through...
one more thing, very important thing. How many of you, I'll go directly to the chase because we don't have much time, but one of the things to notice is that in the past, we have both the classic and ARM VMs, and there are 2 different lists of VMs, same with storage, same with network. One of the things that we've introduced right now is having both in a single list. And when you're in the list, basically also, both classic and ARM VMs have been merged on the same list.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that you can do is either filter by type or group by type. So you can see them. I mean, you have different ways in which you can slice and dice to get to the VM that you're looking for.
That's great.
Sorry.
So you talked about how developers can accidentally do some operation on resources. Is there a way to kind of lock a resource? That's something that developers have been asking about.
Oh, actually, that's a really good one. So one of the things that again is not very well known. Let me ask, how many of you know about the lock resource feature? 3.
1, 2, 3.
4. But basically the main idea behind locking, and this was one of our top user voice requests for a long time, is you have some resources and you want to make sure that somebody doesn't delete them or change them accidentally. So on every resource or resource group, like you were suggesting, you can put a lock. Let me show you where it is. It's in the same place everywhere. I'm going to pick a database in this case, but in any resource or resource group, you can go to logs and you can place management logs such that you can decide that resource cannot be deleted or modified. So you can protect your resource against accidental deletion or modification. It's always available, by the way, in settings. It's one of the last options that you will find across all resource types. If you do it for a resource group, as you ask, it applies to all the items inside. Yeah. Same thing for subscriptions.
That's great. And there is a way for an individual user to go see what kind of permissions they have, so if they're running into issues, right? They quickly can check. Yeah.
That's another really good one. Did you ever wonder when, you have a list of subscriptions, right, that you have access to? And sometimes you have a bunch of subscriptions that you're wondering, why do I have access to? Why am I seeing this? Did any one of you have that question ever? Because we get that a lot, right? So one thing that we added, because we had that question every other day, and we have to go and see, like, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I have more than 30 subscriptions that I have access to. So that's very common inside of Microsoft, that you have access to a bunch of things. So one of the things that we have, which the UI is very Spartan, but it's pretty useful, is here in the avatar, you have this My Permissions item. So if you click this guy, basically, these are all the subscriptions that I have access to. And in every case, if I select a sub, it's going to tell me why do I have access to that. Again, the UI is not great, it's not pretty, but basically you get an idea of why are you seeing what you're seeing and what's going on. Like you might be an owner, you might have access to a resource group, to a resource or whatnot. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So we thanks Leon for a bunch of productivity tips. Now the next thing is, I have a lot of resources. I want to do automation, right? Templates and can you walk through some of the cool features we have that are not well known in terms of automation and templates?
Actually, yes. Like how many here use ARM templates? Oh, like a bigger group. How many of here is aware of the tools that the portal has to deal with ARM templates? Like smaller groups. So that's awesome. So ARM one of the nice things that we have in the portal, in our templates, basically you can describe like the structure of a set of resources and execute it multiple times to say it, very, very briefly.
Yeah.
And one of the things that the portal has is an experience for both authoring and running a template. Let me show you quickly. So one way to get there very, very quickly is if you come to the global search and you type custom template. Oops. I cannot type apparently, but again, that's still true. But as soon as I type, can you do it for me? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's go.
You see,
Yeah.
that's a problem. So custom template, the first thing that you will see if you type custom template is deploy a custom template, as expected. So if I hit enter, I'll get there, and basically this page that you see helps you getting started a little bit. So either, if you don't know about templates, good thing to read is this doc. This is the official documentation of what ARM templates are. If you know about them, you can start from scratch. We have some, popular templates that we threw them there, to get started. But there's one very interesting thing. There's a GitHub library, a community-driven, kind of library that has a bunch of ARM templates that you guys can use and you can contribute to. There are hundreds of templates there that are very cool. How many here use that? Is aware of that one? Cool. It's very cool. And when you are in GitHub, one of the things that you can do is if you see any template that you like, you click deploy to Azure and it's going to bring you here. Now, if you want to use the GitHub templates, you don't need to go to GitHub. If you're in the portal also, we can offer you all those templates here as well. So let's say that we want to find a template that has web. So let's say web with DocDB again.
Cosmos DB.
Cosmos DB, sorry. But this is how it is in GitHub. We will need to change it soon. You can go to GitHub directly to see what that is, or you can start working with this template. So one thing that I'll do is I'm going to edit the template, and as soon as I select edit the template, I get a full-fledged code editor with syntax, highlighting, coloring, and whatnot, everything that you might expect, outlining similar than Visual Studio. And let's say for a second that I want to add a storage account here, right? One way that I could add it is by typing it, or we have some helper functions similar to what you have in Visual Studio, where I can say storage account, my account, again, typo, but doesn't matter, and now I have a storage account. If I wanted to, I can jump directly to the account. It's there. You see, one problem that we have is that the name is hard-coded because it's a variable. So I'm going to change it right now such that the name is the same name than the one of the web app. So I'm going to go to the web app, and you see I have a parameter that is the web app name. I'm going to go back here. And now I'm using the same parameter in both cases. And one final thing that I'll do is I'll go to the parameters. And you see there's some metadata for the parameters. In this case, the name of the web app and storage account. I type it right this time. So once I save the template, a full form is created for me based on that metadata. Let me show you one cool thing. Web app name, again, the metadata that we just put. Also, we get some drop-downs for the well-known fields to help you, because the ones who work with templates a lot, that it's very easy to provide the wrong data. So we try to make sure that we help you, in providing the right data when you execute the template. And even further, if I would try to, run it, we run validations also to make sure, again, to do all that we can to make sure that the execution is successful. If you find any template that you like, also we have a template library where you can save it. And for any resource, when you do any resource creation, like let's say that I want to create a web app. Let's go fast. But let's say that I want to create a web app. And at the end of the creation, this is available for every resource type. But let's say that I provide all the right data. I could decide to create it or get the automation options, which will basically give me the ARM template for that resource that I just was attempting to create. So you can use the portal in a way as a macro recorder.
That's awesome.
And when you get the script, one final thing, because it's very cool, CLI, CLI2O, PowerShell scripts, .NET, and Ruby. So you get all the helpers on how to run that template.
That's really great. You're talking about PowerShell. Not all tasks are optimized for UI. Developers love to mix it with cloud, the shell and UI. So do you want to talk about how we are doing enabling Cloud Shell as part of this?
Yes, that's
really quick.
One of the things that we are getting. Anyway, one of the awesome things, we are a little bit pressed on time, but one of the things that we just added is the public preview of Cloud Shell. So basically, at any time in the portal, you have Cloud Shell available to you. which basically is a shell environment that can go with you anywhere you go. You don't need to install anything on the client. The files are set up to be persistent, so anything that you do, any information that you have there, you can use it in any other session. And basically this has also all the commands that you might expect, such that you can start running CLI commands on Azure anywhere, one click away.
Okay, that's awesome. We talked about all the great productivity tips, Cloud Shell. It's fantastic. Developers love all of this. Now, you want to, have Portal on the go. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Yes. And one other interesting thing is, which again is a thing that we announced today as well, is we have a public preview of an Azure mobile app. So that public preview is available to install right now. You can find it in App Store, both Android and iOS. We are working on a Windows version also. It's coming. But basically with this app, you have the ability of going through all your resources, through all your Azure resources. You can do quick operations on resources. You can see monitoring information. And even further, let me start from the beginning because
Absolutely.
I'm going a little bit fast because we're out of time, but I think that I'll take one extra minute to mention a couple of interesting things. One is the fact that as soon as you open the app, you can favorite the resources that are most important to you. So if you have a subscription, typically you have a lot of things, but if you care about 2 or 3 things, you can put them in your favorites and you will see them front and center. As soon as you find any resource that you want to manage, you can select it from here. I'm going to pick 1 VM, for example, and I will get access to metrics, health operation, activity logs, which is basically every operation that happened in the ARM management plane. I can do quick tasks like, for example, like stop the VM, start the VM in case that there's any issue when I'm on the go. And even further, if you have RDP installed, we have a connect button that will launch RDP and will connect to that VM automatically.
That's really cool. Anything that's, that opens up a lot of possibilities for developers
on
the go.
Another thing that I'd like to mention is that right now, we are launching an Azure Health. And Azure Health is a new service. We have a private preview, which basically is in the event that there's any circumstances that is affecting you, and it's not on your end, it's on our end. We are providing a service that will help you, that gives you better tools to stay on top of what's going on. If you want to sign up for the private preview of Azure Health, you can do it here today. There's a booth over there that says Azure Portal. There you can sign up for it and you can start trying it. One of the nice things is that the Azure Health notifications that you will get are going to be available on the phone too. And one final thing to mention about the phone app, look at this. Aside of everything that I mentioned, I also have the ability of getting the Cloud Shell. So I can take the Cloud Shell with me everywhere where I go. If you install it right now, you will likely see coming soon. We might open it in the next couple of days just to make sure that I'm not showing you one thing and then you cannot do it, but it's coming in the next 1 or 2 days. But basically, Cloud Shell is here. One of the nice things, I mentioned that the scripts, you have persistent storage. So anything that you store in the shell is available.
That's really cool.
In the computer or here in the phone. So if you have your favorite scripts that make you productive or whatnot, you can run them from here. So,
okay, that's awesome. That's we are running short of time here, but a lot of great things being announced, a lot of great improvements being made. Please let us know if you have more feedback. We're looking at it every single day, making the experience better. Thank you so much.
I want to throw one final thing that we are like 4 minutes out of time. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for whoever is next. 1 minute. But one thing that we'd like to do is, do you guys build dashboards?
Yes.
Awesome. So one thing that we'd like to do as a team, we love when we see dashboards from customers. That gets the team really, really excited. And we are trying to build a wall of dashboards, which is a wall with all the dashboards that people around the world do to inspire the team. We want to do like a contest of the best dashboard or best dashboards. We don't know yet how it's going to look like. We're
really cool price. Really cool price.
Raj is helping us to figure out, what the price is or whatnot.
Yeah.
But if you have anything that you want to share with the team, it's going to really help us, to get the team excited and inspired. Feel free to reach. And by the way, not only that, if you're using the portal and at any point you have feedback about the experience, you get stuck, you like it, you don't like it, whatever, feel free to reach out directly at any point. This is my email. Always happy to hear from all of you. So thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.